Two nations, one sky, and a collision of generations. On one side, Israel's F-35 Adir, a ghost in the air invisible to radar, powered by the most advanced stealth technology ever fielded in the Middle East. On the other, Iran's Su-24 Fencer, a Soviet-era strike jet. Battle-hardened, nuclear-capable in doctrine, and still feared by every air defense commander in the region. This isn't just a comparison of aircraft. It's a clash of philosophies. Precision versus power, invisibility versus brute force, the future versus the past. But here's the twist. The older jet might have more tricks left than you think. Stay with me. This is going to change how you see Middle Eastern air power forever. After decades of shadow wars, proxy conflicts, and near misses that never made the headlines, the skies over the Middle East have become the most contested airspace on Earth. Israel and Iran, two nations locked in a Cold War that occasionally runs dangerously hot. Field air forces that represent polar extremes of modern military aviation. Israel operates the F-35I Adir, a fifth-generation stealth multirole fighter that is arguably the most capable combat aircraft in the entire region. Iran, meanwhile, clings to its aging fleet of Su-24 Fencer strike jets. Soviet-built machines acquired before the Islamic Revolution that have somehow survived 4 decades of sanctions, spare parts embargoes, and international isolation. The question every defense analyst is asking, if these two forces ever met in open conflict, what would happen? To answer that, we need to go deep into the cockpits, the electronics, the doctrine, and the politics. Let the comparison begin. The F-35 Lightning Secco was born from America's Joint Strike Fighter program, a $1 trillion vision to create one aircraft that could serve the Air Force, Navy, and Marines simultaneously. Israel received its specially modified variant, the F-35I Adir, Hebrew for mighty, beginning in 2016, with crucial Israeli-specific upgrades baked directly into the airframe. The Su-24 Fencer tells a completely different story. Designed in the 1960s by Sukhoi's legendary Bureau and entering Soviet service in 1974. It was built to blast through NATO air defenses at low altitude and high speed, delivering devastating payloads deep into enemy territory. Iran acquired its Su-24s before 1979, a fleet originally intended for the Shah's imperial ambitions. When the revolution came, the jets stayed. The Iranians have kept them flying through ingenuity, black market parts, and sheer mechanical stubbornness ever since. Two jets, two completely different worlds. Every aircraft is a physical argument about war. The F-35 makes the argument that invisibility is the ultimate weapon. Its entire airframe is sculpted around one obsession: defeating radar. Face-seated surfaces, internal weapons bays, radar-absorbent materials, and a carefully managed electromagnetic signature make the F-35 a flying contradiction. A $70 million machine designed specifically now to be seen. The Su-24 argues the opposite. It is blunt, aggressive, and unapologetic. Its variable sweep wings, stretching wide for efficient cruise, snapping back for supersonic dashes, are an engineering statement: adaptability through brute mechanical complexity. It was built to survive by going low and fast, hugging terrain at near supersonic speeds to avoid radar detection the old-fashioned way, by flying below the beams entirely. One aircraft hides through physics, the other hides through geography. Both philosophies have produced real-world results. Which is more reliable when lives are on the line? The F-35's stealth is not a coating. It's a system. The aircraft's radar cross-section has been compared to a metal golf ball, making it nearly invisible to conventional radar at combat ranges. But stealth is never absolute. It's specifically tuned to defeat X-band fire control radars, the kind that guide missiles and anti-aircraft guns. Lower frequency L-band and S-band radars, used by some modern Russian-supplied systems, can detect stealth aircraft at reduced ranges. Israel knows this. That's why the F-35I Adir carries an Israeli-developed electronic warfare suite that actively suppresses, deceives, and jams hostile radar systems simultaneously, Iran's Su-24 has zero stealth. Its radar cross-section is enormous, a flying barn door to any modern sensor. Its survival strategy depends entirely on speed, terrain, masking, and the element of surprise. Against an F-35 equipped with AESA radar and long-range missiles, that strategy carries serious, perhaps fatal, limitations in a modern air war. Step inside an F-35 cockpit and the future hits you immediately. There is no traditional instrument cluster. Instead, a massive panoramic touchscreen display integrates sensor fusion data from every system simultaneously. Radar, infrared, electronic warfare, and allied data links into a single, intuitive combat picture. The pilot's helmet itself is a sensor system, projecting targeting data and aircraft status directly onto the visor. The F-35 can see in every direction simultaneously. Now step into the Su-24's cockpit. 2 seats. Pilot and weapons systems officer, surrounded by analog gauges, physical switches, and 1970s era displays that have been partially upgraded but never truly modernized. Iran's avionics upgrades have been severely constrained by decades of sanctions, forcing technicians to improvise with reverse-engineered components and smuggled electronics. The situational awareness gap between these two aircraft is not a generation, it is several generations. In modern air combat, awareness is survival. The F-35 owns this domain completely. The F-35 carries its weapons internally, a critical stealth preservation choice. Its internal bays hold precision, guided bombs, air-to-air missiles, and standoff weapons. Israel's Adir variant is reportedly cleared to carry the Rafale Spice 2000, Python 5, and even nuclear-capable gravity bombs. External pylons expand the payload dramatically when stealth is sacrificed for raw firepower. The Su-24 is a different beast entirely, a dedicated deep strike platform designed to haul massive payloads. It can carry up to 8,000 kilograms of ordnance, unguided bombs, cruise missiles, anti-ship weapons, and theoretically nuclear devices. Iran has integrated domestically produced precision munitions onto its Su-24s in recent years, giving the aging jets a genuine standoff strike capability that complicates any adversary's planning. The Su-24 cannot compete in air-to-air combat, but as a strike platform tasked with hitting fixed targets, bases, ports, infrastructure, it remains genuinely dangerous, capable, and not to be dismissed. Numbers matter, but context matters more. The Su-24 reaches a maximum speed of Mach 135 at altitude and carries enough fuel for a combat radius exceeding 600 kilometers, enough to reach deep into Israeli territory from Iranian airfields in western Iran. Its variable, sweep wings give it impressive low-level performance, making terrain hugging high speed ingress a real tactical option. The F-35, by contrast, is not a speed demon. Its maximum speed of Mach 1.6 is modest for a fighter of its generation, and its combat radius of approximately 100 kilometers vastly exceeds the Su-24's. But the F-35 compensates for its speed limitations with something more powerful. It typically kills its targets before they ever know it's in the neighborhood. Range means little if you're destroyed by a missile fired from 150 kilometers away by an aircraft you never detected. The F-35 fights on its own terms, and those terms almost always favor the ghost. This is where theory meets blood and fire. Israel's F-35I Adir has reportedly conducted operational strikes inside Syrian and Iraqi airspace, becoming the first fifth-generation aircraft to fly actual combat missions anywhere on Earth. Israeli officials confirmed in 2018 that the Adir had struck targets in 2 different continents in 1 week, a staggering declaration of operational reach. The Su-24, meanwhile, has its own brutal combat RA-SUM. Soviet Su-24s devastated Afghan Mujahideen positions. Russian Su-24s struck targets across Syria, and one was shot down by a Turkish F-16 in 2015, an incident that nearly ignited a major war. Iran's Su-24s conducted strike missions during the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s and remain operational today. Both aircraft have drawn real blood, but Israel's F-35 has done so without losing a single aircraft, while operating in some of the most heavily defended airspace in the modern world. That record speaks loudly. The F-35's Su-24 comparison is ultimately not just about aircraft. It is about the strategic balance of power in the most volatile region on Earth. Israel's F-35 fleet, currently numbering over 36 aircraft with more on order, gives it an air superiority cushion that no neighboring state can match. Iran, aware of this gap, has responded asymmetrically, investing in ballistic missiles, drone swarms, and proxy forces precisely because it cannot compete conventionally in the air. The Su-24 fleet serves a specific purpose in Iranian doctrine. It is a credible conventional strike threat against Gulf Arab states, American bases in the region, and Israeli territory in worst-case scenarios. Iran has also reportedly sought to acquire Russian Su-35s and potentially Chinese J-10s to modernize its air force, moves the United States and Israel are watching with intense focus. The sky is a chessboard, every move counts. So who wins? In a direct air-to-air engagement, the result is not a contest, it is an execution. The F-35 would detect, target, and destroy the Su-24 long before the Iranian crew even knew they were being hunted. The stealth advantage, the sensor fusion superiority, the weapons range, all of it stacks overwhelmingly in Israel's favor. But war is never a clean equation. Iran's Su-24s don't need to dogfight to matter. Launched in mass salvos alongside ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drone swarms. The strategy Iran has demonstrated in attacks on Saudi Arabia and against Israel directly in April 2024. Even obsolete aircraft create dangerous complexity for any air defense network. The F-35 is the most capable tactical aircraft in the Middle East. The Su-24 is a 50-year-old machine that refuses to become irrelevant. In the brutal logic of war, both of those things can be true at once. If this breakdown changed how you see Middle Eastern air power, smash that like button right now. We put serious research into every frame of this video, and your support is what keeps this channel delivering the deep dives the mainstream media won't touch. Subscribe if you want the truth about modern warfare, not the headlines, but the hardware, the doctrine, and the strategy underneath. Drop your take in the comments. Can Iran's Su-24 ever be a real threat to Israel's F-35? Or is this matchup already decided? And if you want to go even deeper, our next video covers Israel's full air defense network VRIS, Iran's missile arsenal. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. This is modern air power, and the game is just getting started.